Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. You're watching Newsroom. I'm your host, Khalid. But today is Friday, the 30th of July, 2021, and these are the stories that we will be talking about during the course of our show. We will begin with the statement of the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who said on Thursday that Pakistan has a vital role to influence the Taliban and that his country, that is the United States, hopes that Islamabad will play that role. He was giving these remarks while talking to different media channels that include ABC News and Al Jazeera. At the same time, we know the National Security Advisor Moeed Yusuf is in the United States. He's had talks with Jake Sullivan, his US counterpart as well. We'll be talking about how important that is in the context of the Afghan peace process and the future of Afghanistan. This is going to be our leading segment. Then in our second segment, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about the situation as far as COVID-19 in Pakistan is concerned. With the fourth wave of COVID, of course, gripping different parts of Pakistan, it is pertinent that we need to follow the SOPs. Also, Sindh has decided to impose a lockdown in the province from tomorrow. That will be in place until the 8th of August. Also today, Pakistan has recorded its biggest daily increase in COVID-19 cases since the 30th of April. And 4,537 cases have been found. And of course, this is going to be our second segment. Then we will be talking about the polio campaign that is beginning from the 2nd of August, that is Monday, in which 68 districts will be implicated, and children below the age of 5 will be immunized with polio drops in these 68 districts. There is a toll-free helpline number 1166 and a WhatsApp polio helpline 0346 777 to assist the people if they need any help concerning the vaccination for polio for their children below the age of 5. Let's begin with our first segment, ladies and gentlemen, and that concerns of course, the Afghan peace process, the future of Afghanistan, and in all of this in the context of Antony Blinken's statement as well as the visit to the United States of Moeed Yusuf. We will be coming back with more details, but after this short break. Welcome back. Details concerning the first segment in this report, after which we will come back with our guest.
The ominous predictions regarding prospects of protracted internecine wars in post-US withdrawal Afghanistan are materializing, much to strategic anxiety of regional powers. Against the backdrop of mounting violence, National Security Advisor Dr. Moeed Yusuf and his American counterpart Jake Sullivan discussed the urgent need for an inclusive negotiated political settlement in Afghanistan. While dissecting the regional security situation, the two sides also discussed matters related to bilateral relations and regional issues. Both sides not only agreed to keep the momentum in Pak-US ties, but also emphasized the importance of immediate steps to diffuse tensions in Afghanistan. Moreover, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Thursday asserted that Pakistan has a vital role in influencing the Taliban, and the United States hopes that Islamabad plays that role. Earlier, Prime Minister Imran Khan reiterated that Pakistan cannot be held responsible for the actions of the Taliban in the aftermath of US and its allies' ongoing withdrawal from Afghanistan. It is pertinent to mention here that Pakistan has persistently maintained that it would not accept the responsibility if it was blamed for any deterioration in the Afghan peace process. Furthermore, National Security Advisor Dr. Moeed Yusuf noted in June that hushed US exit from Afghanistan was not ideal, adding that any mudslinging on Pakistan for face saving would be unacceptable. Pakistan had been supporting the facilitating peace process for achieving an inclusive intra-Afghan political settlement. Islamabad also vehemently refuted the baseless allegations of Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, who tried to cast Pakistan negatively in Afghan peace process.
Now, to discuss more as far as the Afghan peace process and its future is concerned, and what Pakistan's role is going to be in the context of the meeting of the two NSAs in the US, as well as Antony Blinken's statement, we've been joined by Adnan Qaiser. He's a research associate of the Conference of Defense Institute in Canada. Adnan, thank you very much to have joined us. What do you make of the statement by Antony Blinken?
First of all, thank you very much, Omar, for inviting me at your program. It's a great privilege to be at your program. And Assalamu alaikum to all your viewers. So first of all, you see, I've spoken on this in the past as well. You know, I've been in Canada, and I've been watching and observing and analyzing Afghan war from a NATO or a G7 perspective for the past about 11 years. So allow me to say that, you know, the West, if you will, had a flawed outlook towards this Afghan war. Pakistan had a very clear stance that this is a political problem and this has to be addressed politically. There is no military solution to that. So thanks goodness that that has finally dawned on the West that so they found a political solution and they are moving towards that. But now there is a little problem with regards to too many stakeholders in Afghanistan. So there is a dichotomy at present. On one side there is Afghan Taliban, and on the other side is the President Ashraf Ghani's government. So we unfortunately have absolutely no role to play into the internal affairs of Afghanistan. So we are just the facilitators. And there has been a recognition. So what Secretary Blinken has said, it is an acknowledgement of Pakistan's significance in Afghan parley, as well as the future roadmap towards peace and stability. So this is one recognition which he has acknowledged.
All right. Now also, Adnan, there's another thing that I'd like to ask you. When the Prime Minister says that Pakistan is neither responsible for the Taliban nor are we their spokespersons, is there some kind of an undue pressure from the US so that Pakistan steps in and tries to handle the current situation in Afghanistan?
So understand, there are two aspects for that. So first of all, Pakistan had some influence over the Taliban in the first incarnation of Taliban during the 1990s. So, but later on, you know, things changed. A lot of water has run down the river. Taliban have become more pragmatic. They have politically evolved. And unfortunately, we do not have that kind of a significance or a role to dictate them. And they have acknowledged it. The spokesperson of Taliban has publicly stated a number of times that, you know, we have nothing to do with Pakistan. So we have no influence with regards to dictating them. So we can only persuade them through diplomacy, through our cultural and historical linkages. So if would they listen to us? That remains a question. So we have brought them on the negotiating table. The Doha peace agreement has resulted through Pakistan's proactive role, and that has been acknowledged worldwide. So, but the point is this, that, you know, we have limitations. To some extent we can go, but we cannot. Now, with regards to the scapegoating, you know, Pakistan's role in this Afghan war or in Afghan conflict has been viewed with skepticism. Unfortunately, Pakistan had very clear stance that we have absolutely nothing to do with this issue. We are a neighbor, and we have strong linkages, the historical, religious, cultural, linguistic linkages. But unfortunately, we have no role into that. But now, so then, you know, Pakistan was tried, the West in a way tried to scapegoat Pakistan, and we clearly, categorically stated that we have absolutely no role. We did not, we were not party to the conflict, and we persuaded the actors, and we helped in bringing the parties to the negotiating table, and we have a clear roadmap towards peace.
All right.
If you follow it, please do that. Otherwise, we have limitations.
All right. Now, Anthony Blinken also talked to different media channels that included ABC News and Al Jazeera and some Indian channels, in which he showed the US concern as far as the future of Afghanistan and the current situation in Afghanistan is concerned. I would like to link that with the statement that our Prime Minister gave while talking to a US channel, PBS, and he said that the US has really messed it up, and he said that the US is not now talking from a position of strength, but more so because now that its forces are out of Afghanistan, the Afghan Taliban feel more vindicated as far as their current situation is concerned. What do you have to say on that?
So first of all, you see, understand, for the first time, I'm very happy, I'm very pleased that for the first time in history, Pakistan is playing a proactive diplomacy. Pakistan is playing, as in we say in the cricket, playing on the front foot. So we are addressing all queries, questions, any misconceptions, we are clarifying them. Our National Security Advisor, fortunately, he understands the language of the West, so he speaks their language. So he has interacted with the United States National Security Advisor twice. He's still there, and he is trying to put across our point of view. Our point of view had been very clear. So what we are trying to say that, I'll come to your point about the future of Afghanistan, which we see, everyone is seeing what I call it a civil war 2.0. Historically, Afghan has a culture of revenge. So there had been atrocities committed in the past, and which are not forgotten and cannot be forgiven. So if they follow Pakistan's prescription, then perhaps there is a possibility of peace. But now, with regards to the United States, Pakistan is saying three things. First of all, please do not view our relations, the US-Pakistan relations, in the context of Afghanistan alone. We had a history of 73, 74 years, and we had very cordial and convivial relations in the past. We do not view us. Secondly, Pakistan has shifted its orientation from geopolitics, geostrategy to geoeconomics, which Prime Minister Imran Khan has number of times he has stated. So, the same thing. Please do not view us and our CPAC from the prism of the great competition which you have with China. This is second. The third one, our detractors and adversaries have always been blaming us about the strategic depth. It is naive, absolutely naive to believe that strategic depth still constitutes. It is a redundant and obsolete concept since May 1998 when the nuclear tests were taken place. So there is a strategic equilibrium in the region, and absolutely there is no concept of Pakistan seeking any kind of a role or influence in Afghanistan.
All right. Now, which brings me, of course, something that you've mentioned, the meeting between the two national security advisors from the US side, Jake Sullivan, and from Pakistan side, Moeed Yusuf. This is the second meeting after their first meeting in March in Geneva. How important is this meeting as well?
Very important. Previously we had not been talking. And I very much wish there had been voices in Washington that President Biden should pick up the phone and speak to Prime Minister Imran Khan. It should happen. We should talk more, and this is what is happening. The National Security Advisor Moeed Yusuf has. This is the second time he is speaking, and he is articulating very clearly, with clarity, what we can do in Afghanistan, what has been our role in the past, what role we have played in the negotiations that has ultimately led to the Doha Agreement. And we have an absolutely clear roadmap towards peace and stability. That all the legitimate, I'll repeat, legitimate stakeholders in Afghanistan sit together and chart out
legitimate stakeholders should sit together and chalk out the future plan for Afghanistan. Dr. Adnan Sarwar Khan, foreign affairs expert, also joins us online. Dr. Saab, thank you very much to have joined us. Dr. Saab, how concerned is the US as far as the current situation in Afghanistan is concerned, whether it be the statements by Anthony Blinken or Jake Sullivan? It seems that the US is putting a lot of pressure. What do you have to say on that?
Well, thank you, Mr. Khalid. Actually, the United States, indeed, as far as its apparent policy through the statements of its Secretary of State and the National Security Advisor and the rest of the other high-ranking officials is concerned, is highly worried, and they have been saying that the whole of the world also is actually very, very worried, and is dreading the military takeover by the Taliban. And they are saying that if that happens, then indeed you see not only the United States of America, but the rest of the countries, in particular, the regional countries, except whatever they can mean, and the world at large would not recognize them if they ruin, as they say, the 20 years of the gains in Afghanistan, whatever that is meant by them. So, in fact, you see here they are apparently prima facie or of this view with full concern. But at the same time, you see, the point is that they should not have adopted that kind of a policy which they did adopt, and which the Prime Minister of Pakistan also has been pointing out for the last many months, but particularly for the last 2-3 days, when he when he was being interviewed by the American television network, and he also met the Afghan Youth Forum yesterday.
At the Afghan Media Conclave, yes.
Yes, all of them. So, in fact, you see, this is a little confusing, very sorry to say, on the part of the United States of America, that while they hurried up their withdrawal, which the government of Pakistan, in all honesty and earnestness, said that, well, they should not have done that. While they were doing it, I think that they should have been very imaginative, very forecastive that what will then follow. So now they are very, very worried. This is therefore something which is contradictory. I wish that it must not have happened, as the entire high official of Pakistan also are thinking in that way. So in a word, I can say that the United States of America, though, is trying to have some peaceful settlement, and they are pressing upon Pakistan. Mr. Blinken also said the same in India, that, well, Pakistan has a very vital role to play in this regard, and that it will have
speaking
to
play. Speaking of India, Dr. Saab, you know, here Anthony Blinken was in India very recently as well, and the Afghan issue also came under discussion for a very long time between him and Indian leaders. Do you feel that the US wants India to play an important role as far as the future of Afghanistan is concerned? And what kind of impact is it going to have on Pakistan?
Well, Mr. Omar, when analyzed this situation, I feel that yes, the United States of America is interested in India's playing a role also in some kind of a solution to the current Afghan situation. And that's why you see it is said that the United States of America is trying to have in mind the regional approach as well, which will, of course, in their view, would not only include Pakistan and India and the Central Asian republics and China, the countries all around them as immediate neighbors, but also India, because, it is believed by them that India have had a very strong, in the courts, strong influence over Afghanistan, historically and traditionally speaking, and particularly in the last 20 years or so. So yes, they are desiring this kind of a solution where you see they see that not only just Pakistan and United States and the Central Asian republics and China play a role, but India also, because they have a long-term strategic relationship with India, and therefore they have in fact this formula in their mind that if this is done, probably overall.
I mean, I like your word formula, Dr. Saab, and I'd like to ask the question to Adnan Qaiser. Do you feel, Adnan, that formula involving India that has been a spoiler as far as the Afghan situation is concerned, and Pakistan that has been wanting an Afghan-owned and Afghan-led peace process can go forward? Can there be some kind of a balance and equilibrium in that relationship that the US is trying to have with both the nations as far as the future of Afghanistan is concerned?
Very pertinent question. You see, India got a historical opportunity to play a productive and very constructive role in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, it did not. And if you recall the statement of Chuck Hagel, the former U.S. Defense Secretary, he had acknowledged on publicly that India had been playing a spoiler's role or causing terrorism in Pakistan through Afghanistan. So India did invest about $3 billion or nearly $3 billion in Afghanistan. But unfortunately, it could not win the whole population. It still continues to put all its eggs in the basket of Northern Alliance, constituting of Hazara, Uzbek, and Tajik communities. So, as Pakistan realized its mistake of the past, and except for the Pashtuns, we interacted and we tried to engage with all the ethnic minorities of Afghanistan, and we still, we are pursuing towards them. But unfortunately, India did not. So India still unfortunately has a spoiler's role. And if you recall, a few weeks ago, India had sent ammunition, some 122 millimeter howitzers ammunition to the Afghan government. At this moment, this is counterproductive. So this is viewed with negativity by the Taliban, by the international community, and unfortunately, India has lost its
well, only time will tell how it's going to all bode out for the future. But Dr. Saab, when it comes to the Afghan government, how do you foresee its role? We've heard a lot of some positivity, a lot of negativity as well, as far as their role in the future of this Afghanistan that is currently in a certain state of turmoil is concerned. How do you see the Afghan government, the current Afghan government, Ashraf Ghani's government, playing a role?
Well, Umar Saab, actually, Ashraf Ghani Saab's government role has become very limited. Keeping in view the stance and stand of the Afghan Taliban that they do not recognize as such the puppet government of Dr. Ashraf Ghani. And lately you have been aware of this fact that they have been telling the world in their different interviews that, well, for some kind of a political settlement, first of all, Ashraf Ghani's government has to resign. And then you see the Afghan leaders and not the Afghan government, the incumbent Afghan government, can be approached by them, and all of them can sit on a table for some kind of a political solution. So this appears to be quite difficult, and I would again we have to be a little now calling spade a spade also, as our Prime Minister has also been saying, that Dr. Ashraf Ghani should not have held the elections just at the time when the US had decided to withdraw and negotiations were going on between the Taliban and the United States at Doha. Instead, you see, he should have invited the Taliban and the rest of the Afghan leaders from our state of life to discuss this situation threadbare and to have come forward for some kind of a solution. So at this time, I think that this is going to be very, very difficult unless and until there's a change of heart and mind in the Taliban top leadership, that they somehow hold some interim kind of negotiations till the time that finally you see there's a solution. And in fact, they would be demanding some that kind of a political negotiations with, if at all they agree, which is quite unlikely, when the Afghan incumbent Afghan government under Mr. Ashraf Ghani.
So a lot of questions, Dr. Saab, to resume it all, there are a lot of questions as far as the role or the future role of the Afghan government is concerned. But of course, let's see how things move along. As far as Pakistan's role is concerned, it has been quite active. In fact, it is due to Pakistan that the Afghan Taliban and of course came to the negotiation table, and now again the US is asking for Pakistan's help and assistance as far as the future of Afghanistan is concerned, to bring some kind of a positive solution to the current situation that exists in the country. Thank you very much, Dr. Adnan Sarwar Khan Sahab. Thank you very much, Adnan Qaiser Sahab, to have joined us for this very important segment concerning the future of Afghanistan and the role that Pakistan has been playing, and the acknowledgement by the United States of America of Pakistan's role, past and present. We'll go to our second segment now, that concerns COVID-19 and the fourth wave that is engulfing Pakistan. What needs to be done? More in the following report.
After almost 2 years, the world still remains largely susceptible to the virus, and novel strains continue to wreak havoc upon national health orders. The fourth wave of COVID-19 shows no signs of abating as highly contagious mutation of coronavirus, that is Indian origin Delta variant, triggered surge in infections. National Command and Operations Center, the focal point of government's synchronized efforts against spread of virus, is relentlessly urging fully vaccinated people to continue wearing masks, practice social distancing and other pandemic safety measures as the Delta variant spreads rapidly across the globe. First identified in India, the WHO declared Delta a variant of concern as it is shown to be more contagious, more deadly and more resistant to current vaccines and treatments. Pakistan is currently experiencing a fourth wave of coronavirus pandemic that has seen the number of infections as well as fatalities jump up steadily across the country, but particularly in Karachi and Sindh, where the provincial government is reportedly planning a lockdown. According to NCOC statistics regarding Corona SOPs compliance, Islamabad's SOP compliance was 56.4%, 46.6% in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 42.7% in Azad Jammu and Kashmir, 37.4% in Gilgit-Baltistan, and 38% in Punjab. Sindh and Balochistan have the lowest SOP compliance at 33%. In the past 24 hours, as many as 1,489 patients have recovered from the deadly virus, while the total recoveries stand at 938,843. The national positivity ratio soared at 7.79%. At least 377,231 coronavirus cases have been confirmed in Sindh, 355,483 in Punjab, 143,213 in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 86,945 in Islamabad, 30,162 in Balochistan, 23,819 in Azad Kashmir, and 8,008 in Gilgit-Baltistan. The alarming surge in infections illustrate that vaccination and compliance with SOP is crucial amid the unfolding health challenge.
Now, to talk more about the current fourth wave of COVID-19, we've been joined by Dr. Rana Jawad Asghar, leading epidemiologist. We talk to him regularly. In fact, he's one of our major sources as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab, to again having joined us on our show. Dr. Saab, the Delta variant, the increase in the number of cases, Sindh putting its province under lockdown starting from tomorrow until the 8th of August. Will that have any kind of a positive impact on the spread of COVID-19?
Thank you very much for inviting. Karachi has a unique or vulnerable position because it's the only mega city of Pakistan, and it was vulnerable from the day one. And unfortunately, now COVID with full force has arrived. So they have to come up with some local solutions. But my problem with everyone or every city is that we should try to implement SOPs with full force. Because when we can't implement SOPs, simple SOPs like mask wearing or not having crowds in indoor spaces, these are two simple things which could be implemented. Then we reach at the stage where cities or the countries have to think about lockdown, which is a very hard-hitting measure for the poor population of the cities. So, but I think Karachi was running short of now beds, hospital beds.
Of course, there are so many hospitals that are running short of beds, and even there are hospitals that cannot perform their operations, their normal procedures, because of the number of patients that have come that are suffering from COVID-19. Speak of this. Let's speak of the Delta variant. Now, the CDC says that the Delta variant is as contagious as the chicken pox. This has been reported by the New York Times. This is quite an alarming situation, isn't it?
Yes, it is very, and these are, as you know, the chicken pox, once it spreads in kids, it's very difficult to save a kid from the chicken pox disease. But still, I think, the public health measures, if implemented, can prevent that spread. It doesn't matter chickenpox or measles, like measles. And the other cities of Pakistan should take lesson from the Karachi situation and start implementing their SOPs with full force. Making sure and becoming a little hard on population for just wearing masks and avoiding crowds.
When you say, Dr. Saab, becoming a bit hard on the populace as far as following the SOPs are concerned, I've been hearing that in the US there is talk of some kind of a reward if people follow the SOPs and get themselves vaccinated. On the other hand, there are some countries that impose fines on people if they do not follow the SOPs or do not get themselves vaccinated. In Pakistan, we know that a lot of institutions have said that if you do not get yourselves vaccinated, you will not be paid your normal salaries and you cannot go travel via air. Do you feel this is enough as far as Pakistan is concerned, or do you feel we need to become more stringent?
I think we have to use mixed of approaches, and as you said, just explained, both carrot and stick. But we need to be at least our leaders or our officers should lead by example and ensure that everyone wear masks in their own meetings, and the district administration should make it a little bit stiff if the people are not wearing masks, especially in the market, especially in the shops. This is easily doable because mask costs just 5 rupees each, and that price everyone can pay. So only thing is implementation, and when the people will see that the government is serious in implementing this measure, then I think there will be a better situation. Remember, reaching at that stage which countries or cities have to lock down is a really bad situation. It destroys the economy, it destroys people's living. So if we become a little bit stiff before that event, that's much better. If it saves us from the lockdown situation, that would be better. But just forget about Karachi. Karachi is a major problem. But look at the other cities, the high positivity rate. So we need to make sure that we protect those cities. But
Sindh has the highest positivity rate, highest number of cases in the last 24 hours at least. I mean, 2,797 compared to Punjab's 579 cases. Nevertheless, the number of cases are increasing. And even in Islamabad, there have been smart lockdowns in certain areas of the capital. In Punjab also, there are certain hospitals that are full to their capacity because of the number of cases of Covid-19. And in the Middle East and everywhere else also, the Delta variant is spreading like wildfire. And of course, this is the main component or the main mutation or variation of Covid-19 that is making the governments go berserk, as far as the report by the World Health Organization is also concerned. As far as Pakistan is concerned, Dr. Saab, my last question to you, apart from the SOPs and the strict implementation of the SOPs by the public at large, what more needs to be done? Do you feel that we are getting vaccinated at a good enough pace?
Now I would, speed is improving. So if we compare it like a month earlier from now and then, I think we are at a better pace, and that number is increasing. So I'm happy with that. But it's still going to take many months to reach at that protection level that vaccination will provide a protection to the whole of the population. So we are still very far away from them, but that's very critical, step. And I would recommend everyone, general public, that if they have elders who are still not vaccinated, as a first priority, get them vaccinated, because if the Delta virus infects their family, their elders will be most in danger for severe disease and also the death. So protect your elders by getting them vaccinated as soon as possible.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Rana Jawad Asghar Saab, leading epidemiologist, who have talked to us about the fourth wave of Covid-19. That is, of course, impacting all the countries of the world, including Pakistan. And the measures have been taken, whether it be at the capital, whether it be in Punjab, or whether it be in Sindh, where, of course, there's going to be a lockdown till the 8th of August, starting from tomorrow. Now, let's come to our final segment, and that also concerns something very important, and that is polio. A polio vaccination drive is going to begin from Monday, the 2nd of August, in 68 districts of the country. 179 1,000 frontline polio workers will be going house to house, will observe the SOPs as well for COVID-19 to ensure that the children are protected while they are being vaccinated. And of course, these children are below the age of 5. There is a decline in the number of polio cases in Pakistan, but at the same time, we need to be extremely cautious that the number of cases do not resurface, do not increase again. And in that context, it is pertinent that the children below the age of 5 be given the polio vaccination, be given the polio drops. And it is also very important that the families of all those children, the parents also cooperate with the polio workers when they go from house to give those drops. In any case, if you need any kind of information, there's a toll-free helpline 1166, and there's a WhatsApp polio helpline 0346 777 6546 that can assist the parents and the caregivers to give information about vaccines as far as, and also information about this polio campaign that is going to begin from the 2nd of August. Kindly get your children vaccinated in all these districts where the polio workers will be going. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of today's newsroom. Today is Friday, of course, it's the end of the week, but I cannot emphasize enough the fact that we not only need to follow the SOPs, but we also need to get ourselves vaccinated, not for ourselves, but also for the people around them, the people who are living with us, the people who are living in our society. We need to protect our nation from this variant, that is the Delta and the Delta Plus and other variants of COVID-19. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom and this week's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah on Monday, the 2nd of August, with new stories that matter to you and to us. Have a great week and Allah Hafiz.